Hello, chickies. Alrighty. So, just what the title says, pre-hurricane draw fest. So, I'm in Florida. We haven't guessed already. And we have a hurricane coming right at us. So, I'm jittery, I'm nervous. It's typically 3 and below I don't get nervous for. 3 I get mildly nervous. But this thing's supposed to be a 4. So, I'm nervous. Because Jim Cantori is in my city. That ain't good. Now, there is a very small part of me that is also just like, oh my god, it's Jim Cantori. Why am I not running out and getting his autograph? Because I'm civilized like that. And I'm also lazy and a homebody, and I don't feel like driving right now. Also, the man is working. But I will give updates as we go. Sorry, I'm just getting some references here. So, what are we gonna draw? I'm gonna draw a Greek monster. I'm on a kick for a musical called Epic, the musical, and it's based off of the Odyssey. And it's really good. One particular song is gonna be stuck in my head for forever until I like overplay it. It's it's called Scylla, and basically it's about the monster Scylla. So I'm getting references here. Give me a second. I like this one. But yeah, so Epic the musical. I don't really like musicals too often. I don't know why. Just some of them I'm just kind of like meh with. Other ones I really like. One that I really, it's actually like I want to say maybe like 3 or 4 that I really like. There's Hamilton. I really liked that one. Chicago. I really like that one, and Beetlejuice is another one that I really like. Let's see here. This'll work. I only need something from the torso up because the rest of it I have to kind of freehand. But tools for the evening are my handy dandy pencil. This is the Zebra. Come on. Won't focus. It's the Zebra M301, the 0.5 lead mechanical pencil. And as you can see, it's got a nice little fine point here, and then just a good old click eraser pen, because the eraser on here is tiny, and also it's turning into a nub. So, but yeah. So kind of go into anything. So, like I said, Epic the musical is based on the Odyssey, and the Odyssey is basically it's a fundamental story that a lot of us have read, at least in the English or American school system, especially in high school, because if you've read it, basically it's about a guy named Odysseus who Sorry. Anyway, we all read it. Read the Odyssey in high school, along with other classics like Shakespeare. I say Shakespeare because every school's different, and they'll switch it up between Romeo and Juliet, which is the typical one, and maybe a different Shakespearean story. The more common lineup for high school literature that I remember was between Beowulf, the Odyssey, Romeo and Juliet, and then I can't remember what else we had, but that's kind of what I remember. And the Odyssey, out of all the classical literature books that we had to read, was actually one of my favorite ones. It's a little hard to read, I won't lie, but story-wise, it's one of my favorite ones. The main character, Odysseus, it's set during the time of the Trojan War, or right near the end of it, where Odysseus has been kind of like drafted in due to, like, you know, alliances and swearings and all that stuff to come fight in the war against Trojan, or against Troy and the Trojans. And he is he's the mastermind behind the Trojan horse, which, if you don't know, is the horse, a wooden horse that they built, the enemy built it and said, oh, we surrender, here's this horse, because the horse was like the symbol for Troy. Here's this horse as our parting gift. And so Trojans, they're like, oh, awesome, cool, look at this dope gift that they left us, because, you know, they suck and we're awesome. And so they bring the horse into their fortified city, which they had yet to been conquered, and they party all night long because they're all like, look at us, we're awesome, we did it, we beat them back. But what?
Keep doing it.
Oh, somebody talking? Who's talking?
Oh, it doesn't have any song, dude. I got it. It's whatchamacallit.
Oh, hi, Ann. We're still getting the chat thing figured out. Sorry.
You do you well. We'll fix it.
Anyway, continue the story. So anyway, this basically Odysseus and his crew and his army, they're all like, hey, we're gonna hang out and chill out in this Trojan horse until the Trojans are all like stupidly drunk, and then when they're asleep, we'll sneak out and strike them when they're asleep. And that's exactly what happens. They wait for the Trojans to pass out drunk after partying all night long, and they attack. And they eventually win the war against Troy, because basically they've defeated them from the inside. And Odysseus, this is where the Odyssey kind of comes in, is tasked with killing the son of the enemy, being Hector. And Odysseus is like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go take care of this. Well, it turns out the son is an infant. Either an infant or a toddler. Very small child. And at first he's like, I don't know how I feel about this. This is not what I signed up for. But he's ordered by the gods, quite literally, to get rid of the child, because basically the child, if he's allowed to live, will grow up and come after Odysseus and his people and destroy their kingdom. So he has no choice but to get rid of the infant, and it doesn't really sit well with him. So after the war, he's kind of like, plagued by guilt for, taking the life of a child. But it's the will of the gods, and you can't defy the gods. And sorry, hands. I'm never gonna get the hands right. Anyway, so they get back on their ship after the Trojan War, and Odysseus and his crew are like, all right, we're gonna go back to Ithaca now, which is their home island, and it's pretty far away. So they get going. And as they're traveling, they realize, oh, our rations are actually pretty low. We need to stop and figure out a way to get some food or find some food on some nearby islands. So they stop off on an island and they're searching around. They're not really finding anything, and they come across a colony of, I want to say, people. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. But they get on the island, find the people, and the people they seem friendly enough. They ask the people, hey, we're looking for food. Do you know if there's any food? And the people offer up the food. And at first we're like, oh, okay, that's really nice of them. But the food looks sus. Like, they're not entirely sure if they should be eating that food. I did this wrong. And anyway, so they finally figured out that the food that these people are giving them are lotus fruit or lotus plants, and not like the plant lotus, like the flower. I don't know. I've never actually seen the lotus fruit. Actually, it's a lie. I have seen it. It's like a shape of an olive type thing, kind of like a grape. And Odysseus is like, oh, well, we can't eat this because this will, if you eat it, you'll lose your mind and you'll be lost to the lotus and you'll be stuck on this island for forever. So they kind of are like, oh, well, thank you for the food, but we can't have this food. Do you know of any other place that we can get food? And the lotus eaters are like, yeah, there's a cave over here that has food. And they're like, okay, cool, awesome. So they go to this cave that the lotus eater told them about, and they find a herd of sheep in there. And they're like, whoa, awesome, cool, we've got some sheep now. We can take this and eat it or hunt it or whatever. So they kill a few of the sheep and they get ready to kind of get going back to their ship, and Odysseus is all like, something's not right here. Why were there just all these sheep and all these provisions in this cave? And turns out, guess what? It's a Cyclops. And the sheep that they have killed was the Cyclops' friend. So the Cyclops isn't happy. So the Cyclops is like, yo, I'm gonna kill you and keep you now and eat you for hurting my friend and killing my friend. And Odysseus is like, I can try and, barter with this guy, and offers up some wine to the Cyclops, because Cyclops has trapped them in his cave, and the only way they can get out is to get the Cyclops to remove a boulder that's in front of the cave entrance, essentially. So Yeah. And anyway, eventually the wine kicks in and causes the Cyclops to pass out, fall asleep. And this is after some of Odysseus men have already been killed by a Cyclops, so Odysseus ain't happy. And then eventually Cyclops passes out, he's asleep, and they sharpen the edge of either like a stone or something, or like the end of the club that the Cyclops had, and they they stab the Cyclops in the eye. And Cyclops, of course, wakes up screaming in pain, and he ends up removing the boulder from the entrance, and this allows them to escape. Now, mind you, when Odysseus introduced himself to the Cyclops for, like, the wine and stuff, he said, "Oh, I'm nobody. Like, my name is Nobody." So the Cyclops is screaming in pain, and then, like, I guess another deity or other Cyclops show up and like, "Yo, who hurt you? Why are you screaming? What happened? Who hurt you?" And he's like, "Nobody. Nobody hurt me." And they're like, "Well, if nobody hurt you, then shut up." And Odysseus is all like, "Bet we've gotten away with this." And as they're escaping, he, instead of just killing the Cyclops, ends up blurting out, "Oh, I'm Odysseus. My name is Odysseus. You got beat by me, ha ha ha," gloating and stuff. Turns out that wasn't a very good idea. Hands, I hate hands. Because now the Cyclops knows who he is. And this will later come back and bite him in the butt. Odysseus in the butt. And I'm trying to think here, sorry. So fast forward, and they've escaped the Cyclops, and they're going along, and they end up in like this huge storm. And it's just an absolutely massive storm. And as they're in the storm, they see a floating island in the sky. So they're like, okay, we're gonna harpoon that island and bring it down and figure out maybe, like, whoever's on the island can stop the storm or help us or something. So they do that. And as they're sorry. Anyway, they get the island, they pull it down, and I think either the wind or the wind of the gods, or like a nymph wind god or whatever, I don't know, I don't remember. Anyway, they catch it and they're like, "Hey, can you help us, like, with the storm, can you like make a stop?" And the wind god's like, "Yeah, sure, I can make a stop, I can help you on your way home, but let's make it a game of sorts, or I'll bet you a wager in order to, do this." And so they're like, "Okay, yeah, what do we have to do?" And they're like, the god takes all the wind from the storm and puts it in a bag. And he says, "You have to keep this bag and you have to keep it closed the entire time. And this will allow you to get home because, no more storms." And Disney's like, "Bet, like, we can do that. We can keep the bag closed." But he doesn't realize how tempting a closed bag is to a bunch of very curious, war-weathered men. And I think they were told, "Oh, there's treasure in the bag," like sneakily told to, tempt them. So for like 9 days, they're setting sail, and the wind god, I guess, is like kind of watching over to see what happens. But for like 9 days, Odysseus stays up guarding the bag, to keep his men from accidentally opening it or, being tempted to open it. But it doesn't work out. He ends up falling asleep and somebody opens the windbag, and because of that, everybody goes flying off into the storm again. So the storm is released from the bag. And what they don't know is they were like stupidly close to back to home before somebody opened the bag. And the storm blows them off course, so now they're not on their way home anymore, and they end up at the Isle of the Giants. And this is where Poseidon pops up, and Poseidon is big angry, and he is mad at Odysseus and his crew, and it's like, hey, you know what you did? You hurt my son, the Cyclops, and so because of that, I'm going to hurt you. And he ends up basically destroying Odysseus' fleet, and only out of 600 men, only I think 43 survive. Hang on a second.
This is Jasper.
I was checking the text message one. If anybody's talking, I do apologize. We're still working on our chat thing, trying to get it to work. Huh?
No, I got you.
Is it working now?
No, I mean, like, you're fine.
I don't like this one. This one's gonna end up being different. Hang on a second. So anyway, Poseidon is, thrashing Odysseus and his people, and just as he's about to kill Odysseus, there's still some wind left in the windbag, and so Odysseus opens the windbag and they are able to escape Poseidon. But again, they're knocked way off course from going back to Ithaca. So as they're going along, they come across another island that they get off at, and they, regroup, collect themselves, come to terms that, they've just lost their entire fleet. On the island, Odysseus sends out some scouts to, scout the island, make sure they're safe, but also maybe find provisions and stuff. And the scouts come across a castle, and in the castle is a queen. And the queen is like, oh, hi, welcome, come on into my castle. And she ends up actually, feeding them and stuff. How many heads does this thing have? I think it's 6. Six next. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna move this one. Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
Anyway, so they're on the island, and as they're on the island, the queen invites them in. Turns out the queen is a witch named Circe, and she is guarding the nymphs of her island. And one of the ways she does that is she turns like visiting men into pigs. Like they'll feast and everything, and the magic in the food basically turns the men into pigs. So Odysseus finds out and it's like, well, we could go, or I can go and try and rescue my men. So he decides to opt and go and rescue his men. So he goes and tries to rescue his men from Circe. And then Hermes shows up while Odysseus is on his way to Circe, and it's like, hey, you have no chance of beating her. She's too powerful, she's too strong, you're never gonna beat her with brute force alone. So he gives Odysseus a special root that will grant him temporary powers similar to what Circe has, and so he can do that. So he does that. So he eats the root, goes and fights Cersei, and bests Cersei in magic. But Cersei ends up, if I remember correctly, tempting him. And by tempting him, it's... This is where Greek mythology gets weird. Like, she seduces him with magic, supposedly, or, like, he agrees that, like, she'll set his men free if, like, you know, he sleeps with her or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quite remember that part. But he ends up freeing his men after, you know, getting to know Cersei a little bit better, quote unquote. And then Cersei's like, hey, I know there's a way I can help you find a way home, since, you know, Poseidon's out for you. And one of the ways is you need to go to the underworld and find I want to say clairvoyant, no, the soothsayer. But thing is, like, you know, he's dead, so he has to go to the underworld. So she tells him how to get to the underworld and, like, where to find the guy.
This is the best I got for now, but you can see both.
Okay. So they go to the underworld, and one of the warnings Cersei gives is like, hey, be aware what you see in the underworld it's going to mess with your mind. You're going to see things. You need to be, you know, careful. So they go to the underworld, and as they're in the underworld, you know, like, the men that Odysseus has lost, like, they're kind of like haunting him because, you know, underworld spirits, all that fun stuff. They get to where they need to go. While they're in the underworld, Odysseus finds out, you know, his mom. He's been gone for so long that his mom has passed away. So that's how he finds out that his mom has passed, is by being in the underworld, because that's where she's at. So, you know, sad. They eventually find the clairvoyant guy. The guy tells him, I can help you home, but I'm not. This is what I'm seeing. I see a palace that's, like, there's a whole bunch of men. Your wife is with a guy who's haunted, like, you know, has a trail of body behind him. And then, like, I see all these things, and it's not what Odysseus wants to hear. So, you know, there's that. And then fast forward, they get out of the underworld, and as they're sailing along, Odysseus they discover a ship, an empty ship. And so eventually Odysseus figures out, oh, there's sirens nearby. That's not good. So he instructs his men to tie him to the mast of the ship, and they all stick, and everybody has to stick beeswax in their ear. And they do that. Sorry, concentrating on the thing here. So anyway, basically they've come across the layer of the sirens. They go through it. Odysseus is tempted by a vision of Penelope, and as they're sailing on, he's asking Penelope, like, hey, how we're stuck out here, like, how do we theoretically get away from Poseidon, because I know I want to come home to you. And while he's distracting that siren, I guess they go and they start rounding up the other sirens. And sorry, I'm checking the weather update. Category 1. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so eventually he's like, hey, how do I get back home to you? And the siren's like, oh, there's a way you can go that Poseidon won't follow you, and it's through this passage. And the passage is known for having monsters. And Odysseus is like, well, crap, I know about this, and that's gonna have a heavy cost to it. But if it's the only way, then I'll go that way. So they end up catching the sirens at some point. Like Odysseus finally reveals that, oh hey, I know that you're a siren. I know you've been trying to kill me. I've got your buddies over here, and he kills the sirens. And sorry, I'll figure out the clothing part eventually. Anyway, so they go through. They eventually start making their way through the passage, and the passage is known for having two monsters. One that causes whirlpools, and another one that will just destroy ships and eat the men on board. You have Scylla and Charybdis. Charybdis is like a giant, like underwater worm type thing, I think, that causes the whirlpools and just like sucks everything under. And then Scylla is a former nymph turned monster who, according to Greek mythology, has 6 heads of dogs coming out of her thighs. This is a sea monster. I don't know why Greek mythology said sea monster, dogs. Sure, that's a thing. But yeah. So, anyway, I'm drawing Scylla now. At least I'm attempting to. I haven't done human figures or human-like figures in a while, so this is... But yeah, so I'm drawing Scylla, or at least I'm attempting to. And then, yeah, so kind of fast forward, they make it through the layer of Scylla. Of course, 6 men are killed. And then, while that happens, like as they're going through the layer, Odysseus finds out that his first mate and one of his close, like, friends and stuff was responsible for opening the wind bag, which set them back so far. Oh my god, what am I doing? Okay. And anyway, so he's not happy. Anyway, he actually tries to have the guy who opened the windbag sacrifice to Scylla, because like one of the things they had to do was like have a torch, and the torches, I guess, was like a way that Scylla like indicated, like knew like who to grab. Not entirely sure. Oh my god, I can't draw hands to save my life. But yeah, that's kind of like the gist of why. The reason I was talking about the Odyssey is because I was trying to get to the point that I was making Scylla. That was it. There was no other reason other than the fact that, you know, I've also been on like the epic, the musical kick. And the layer of, and Scylla, the song specifically, has just been like brain rotting for me. And I'm not sorry. Look at me, I'm proud of myself. Usually I end up just like, you know, doing like face and then doing everything else. But look at me, I'm trying to like, you know, be good and do other things. Other parts. Yeah, hanging out with CJ. Is it cuddle times? But yeah, I still don't understand why. So, I don't understand why they gave Scylla dog heads when she's an ocean monster. I've seen a few interpretations of Scylla for the epic musical, like people have made animatics for like the song. One did eels, which was really creepy and really cool. Another one did like a dog head variation mixed with like a sea monster, which is like, I think what I'm going to try and go for on this one. Don't know yet. And then another one was kind of like an anglerfish style, or almost like I need more references. Snarling dog references. Ooh, I like this one. I looked up the story behind Scylla, kind of like, okay, well, why is she a sea monster? Because usually there's always a reason why there's a sea monster. Either they're born because, like, you know, the product of a titan or god, or, you know, some evil in the world. No, this was just another case of God jealous of thing. So God's cursed thing. Which is what happened with Scylla, because apparently Scylla was originally like a water nymph of some type, and I guess she was the lover of like a certain god or something like that, and then so the other god that was jealous of her, like, cursed or poisoned the water she bathed in and then caused her to turn into a monster. No, I don't like that trajectory. Fun part is trying to figure out where all the heads are supposed to go and like where their necks are gonna. Do. But Anne, I hope you're doing well. Today's not much of anything, it's just me attempting to draw something other than Pokemon. Ermagerd. Cannot draw a snarling dog head to save my life right now. But yeah, so Greek mythology is weird. I think we can all agree on that. Nope, that eye looks weird. I haven't really drawn like this in forever. Ah! Give me a second. Getting a message. Why does this look weird still? I guess it doesn't have to be like completely perfect since, you know, sea monster. But I would like for it to, you know, look somewhat. Anyway, maybe it's the chin. I just realized how weird this one looks. I used to be really good at drawing canine heads. I guess it happens when you stop drawing. Oh my god, it's so wide. I haven't even drawn her face or anything yet. I'm still stupidly concentrating on these sea monsters. Hi! I'm trying to draw Scylla. It's a Greek monster that shows up in the Odyssey. Trying being keyword, because so Scylla, like in Greek mythology, has 6 dog heads. I don't know why. But she does. And I'm trying to draw the dog heads. And I'm terrible at recalling how to draw a canine. Cosma? Who's Cosma? Oh, y'all got rain? Wait, is it raining over on y'all side of town already? It might be raining here too. I haven't checked. Oh, casa. Oh, kamsa. Oh. But yeah, I'm trying to draw Scylla from Greek mythology. And it's going okay for now. Right here, but maybe like 10 seconds, if not anymore. Maybe it hasn't hit y'all yet. It's pouring at my place. Oh. Still is cool. I don't know why my brain didn't think mythology. Hey, what brought upon? Oh, so the Scylla drawing is because there's a musical online called Epic the Musical that's about the Odyssey. And there's an entire song dedicated to Scylla, where basically it's part of the story where they end up going through the lair of Scylla and shit happens. But the song itself is, it hits hard, and I love it. And my brain, I've been watching like animatics, like people's like animation styles to go with the song, and they're really cool. And I decided I wanted to take my Oh, it's raining here now. I just heard it. But I really wanted to try my hand at it. And also I just didn't really know what game to play tonight, so drawing it is. And I'm trying to get the dog heads first. Oh yeah, it's pouring here. If I can hear it through my headphones, it's definitely... we now have the first outer bands of Helena hitting our area. But yeah, thank you. I haven't even started on her face yet because I wanted to get the creature, the tentacle creature multi-head part out first, because otherwise, if I don't, then I'm going to focus too long. How do I do? I have a weird drawing process. It makes no sense. Love a bot. All right. Here we go. It's the owl song. I don't want the owl song. I wish I could play the epic music, the epic the musical on here, but it is copyrighted and I don't feel like getting in trouble. Like, I actually checked to make sure, like, was it copyrighted or not yet, and it is very much copyrighted, which, good for the guy who made it. Yeah, nah, I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, I wish I could play it for you, but look it up. It's Epic the Musical. It's literally just it's a musical based on the Odyssey. It is not complete yet. It has gotten to a part where, like, Odysseus is stuck on the island with Calypso, and Athena is trying to persuade the other gods to let him go. I've heard about Epic, but haven't seen anything. Well, there's animatics on YouTube, and then there's the whole playlist for it is on there. Hang on a second, let me check my messages here. Okay, sorry, because of the hurricane coming in, I'm periodically like checking stuff to make sure. I think it's still category 1. My sister, they were in a county that they were like, hey, it's mandatory evacuation, so they went to Mobile. And they just got to the hotel there. Still a cat 1. But yeah, not much happening here outside of just the lovely waiting game on the hurricane. It's supposed to come in Thursday, technically. It's thunder! Yeah, it's supposed to be category 4, supposedly. I think by the time it makes landfall, it'll be a category 3. So I'm thinking it's going to be another Idalia. Cross fingers. But we're getting, if it keeps nudging west, we're gonna get like the stronger side of the storm though. So I'm hoping it wobbles, a little more to the east so we can get the other side. I had a friend evac Tallahassee and go to Jacksonville. Well, if anything happens, folks are always welcome to hang with us. Yeah. There's a part of me that feels like she got to Dodge, but there's like also another part of me that's like, well, we kind of can't. And the crappy part is I don't have off work because I work from home, so you know, if the only reason I would have off from work is if the power goes out. So I am taking a half day tomorrow though, since like the worst of the storm is supposed to come during like the later portion of the day. Now, if my power gets knocked out before then, I mean, I can't help that. Yep, it started raining here now. It's official. And a hurricane. I'm trying to give her a wet hair look. One of the things I've noticed recently with storms is they use the word catastrophic, and I think part of it is they're trying to use wordage that'll make people take the storm seriously, but I also think that sometimes they overuse the words to the point where eventually it's going to just be like, oh, well, that's what they said last time, nothing happened. No. Natural disasters usually have those words attached. I'm hoping it's like the last one, no power outage and just a lot of rain. I think it's gonna be a lot more windier than Idalia was this time. Kind of wild going from vacation immediately into hurricane. Welcome back! I think I've only had that happen once where like I went on a vacation and then came back and then I was like, oh hey, guess what? Thing. No, I started a new job and then as soon as I started the new job it was like, hey, storm. Now you have more time off. And I was like, oh, okay. Why is like all my lead? What I got so far? It is kind of starting to finally come together, even though some of these heads are giving me a run for my money. Let me see something here. See if I can't find a specific reference for a dragon resting their head on a shoulder. I'm taking this, like, the head being different and stuff, just to make it seem, you know, just a touch different than everything else. This one looks weird. Hey. Aw. I have YouTube up, so I can see it on there too. But whichever one works best for you. I hope he went down easily for you. Nope, that looks weird. And that nose looks weird. Why do these things never work how I want them? I just want one with his, like... God, I forgot how long it takes. Oh, good. I'm glad he did. I've been so used to, like, drawing, like, quick sketch stuff lately. So something like this, I'm just like, la 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 la, oh, I forgot. This style takes forever. I'm still trying to understand half of Greek mythology and like some of their like monster combinations. Like some of it, like, yeah, okay, I can see that. Again, water monster, dog heads. Like, I can understand if like there are some interpretations where I see it that are like, oh, eel heads. I'm like, okay, puppies of the sea. I get it. Doop, doop, doop. All right. I'm gonna make certain parts darker. Está tanda. I almost want to just go ahead and start like inking this. I want this one to be the derpy one. Like this one's lost a few brain cells, you know? But yeah. So yeah, if you like musicals, I highly recommend Epic the Musical. And like I said, I like watching the ones with like the animatics. So I can kind of get like a vision of like what other people interpret certain characters to be. It's really cool. The guy who made it is hoping to turn it into like a Broadway. I mean, it has like that Broadway feel, obviously. And like he's hoping to eventually get it, you know, to a theater play. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. My dad called. He was worrying about us. It's supposed to be a category 4. Oh my god. It's supposed to be a category 4 by the time it hits us, so he's a little worried about us. And I'm hoping that it turns out like Idalia did, where like it was category 4 and it hit us and like nothing happened, because like by the time it got to us, it was a category 3. And we never lost power, thank goodness. The one on the shoulder reminds me of Zeke, like he did. Oh, yeah, it's kind of how I based it off, because like our dog did the same thing sometimes. But yeah, the storm, like I said, it's my dad was just worried about us. Which, Mike, if you're listening, I have to talk to you here soon. I'm trying to put like sea creature motifs on some of these to kind of, one, give them individual personality, because, you know, why not? This one's my derpy one. He's like, I mean, he doesn't look derpy, but I think he looks derpy. But yeah, my dad was like, "Hey, don't be stubborn and bugger out if y'all need to." Like he was like, y'all should come down here, because my parents are in Central Florida. Part of me wants to just, you know, go, but another part of me is like, well, if we leave for nothing, then we've wasted resources just for nothing. And then, I mean, yeah, we'll probably be safe, but like, I don't know. I'm hoping the bottom half here translates like net, which is what I was trying to go for. The hands aren't terrible, but like I am so bad at hands. She looks so stiff. Yeah. Like my sister bugged out, but then again, the county she was in, they were like under a mandatory evacuation. So, well, I think without getting too much further into this and like absolutely messing up what I have. I did it. I made Scylla. Ta-da! It's not terrible. Alright, so I think I'm probably gonna cut it short there just because, you know, hurricane coming in and stuff, and important discussion of do we bug out or do we hang out? The important questions, you know. Thank you, Anita. I'm glad you liked it. I'm sorry it's so short today, like I said, but we got an incoming storm here, and like I said, bug out or hang out. That is the question. There's nowhere to not die in a giant windstorm. Like I said, we did fairly well the last time we had a pretty big storm come through, but I don't know what this one is going to do. Let's look at the Weather Channel. What is she saying? Okay, so the 8 o'clock one came out already. The next one's at 11. It's still the category 1, which means overnight it'll bump up to 2. They're looking at it being a 4 out here. I imagine by the time it hits land, it's going to be a 3. I will be chilling until the weather gives me something to bug out. That's kind of how I'm feeling. And if we do, we'll probably head west to Pensacola. If it doesn't shift anymore. If it doesn't shift west anymore, we'll probably bug out to Pensacola for a little bit. And then come back when the worst of it has passed. I told my bosses that I would do a half day tomorrow. But if, like I said, if the weather goes bad or even worse, then I'll probably contact them and be like, yo, deuces, I'm out. I mean, but like I'm looking at it now, and it doesn't look like the eye is gonna come directly over our town like it was prior. Now it's heading west of us, like the Chattahoochee area, and the Weewahatchee. And Port St. Joe looks like it might get like the worst of it, in like St. George Island. Apalachicola, it looks like it's in the bullseye for sure. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go south. We're gonna go to the beach. Yeah, no. Oddly enough, our area doesn't get a whole lot of hurricanes, at least really super major big ones. Oh my god. Mike's actually gone surfing during a hurricane or a tropical storm, and it's in the Tallahassee Democrat. There's a picture of him and some other friends just chilling on the shore, looking at the waves. And it's in the Democrat, and it's ironically funny. There was another time where, to be fair, we didn't know there was a hurricane at the time. What, you just thought it was a big storm and dope waves? He's too melanated for that. Look, he was adventurous. But there was another time, besides him and his friends going to the beach, the apartment we lived at, back then, we were just chilling at the pool at the apartment, and we noticed like some storm clouds coming in. We're thinking, oh, afternoon Florida thunderstorms, let's go ahead and head inside. So we went back into our apartment and checked the Weather Channel just to see like how long the thunderstorm was going to last. No, it's a tropical storm coming in. Like, normally I'm pretty up to like date and like in the know when there's like a hurricane or tropical storm coming in. This one literally formed at the coast, which is why I didn't know about it. So that it formed like suddenly. It was a very weak one. It literally like it started raining and it rained for like the rest of the time. How long ago was this? Oh, I want to say 2012 or 13. Or which one? The surfing one or the apartment one? That's how I'm going to separate the two. Surfing. I don't know. Mike, how long was the surfing one? I want to say that one was maybe like 2010, 2011. Could have been 2012. Oh, he's looking it up. Hang on. If it was that far back, I kind of don't blame you. I didn't pay attention to the weather for it either back then. I don't remember when he did it. Like the one at the apartment was literally just, it was absolutely normal day. Noticed clouds coming in. Like I said, thought it was a normal afternoon thunderstorm. Nope. Little tropical cyclone spun up right there at the coast. His, I don't remember. But yeah, the apartment one, that one was, it wasn't that bad. It literally just rained like for the rest of the day, and then a little bit of the next day, and then after that, done, nothing. The one storm that's got me traumatized is Hermine. Hermine is gonna have me traumatized for the rest of my life. All I know is that I'm gonna have a hard time working tomorrow. At least 10 years ago, between 2000, that's what I thought. You know, Hermine had me traumatized. That dropped a tree on our house. Not the one we're in now, but the one we were in prior. Like, we were in a duplex, and Hermine, it was category 1. It was the first time storm had come towards our town in a long time. And, like, bullseyed it. And we were all ready. We were ready for power to go out. We were ready to, you know, like, have to cook out and stuff, like, on the grill and whatnot. And we went to bed. Power went out sometime in the middle of the night, and as we're sleeping, like, I'm partially awake, partially asleep because, you know, storms, loud wind, and I'm tired but cautious. And I hear the sound of snapping wood, and it is a sound I never want to hear again. It's terrible. I hate it. And I knew by that sound, because of how close it was, grabbed Mike, and Mike grabbed me, and then we ended up rolling off the bed in time for the ceiling caved in above us. Well, it partially caved in. It didn't completely cave in. But there was insulation all over the floor. There was a stick sticking in through the roof in one part, which I'm really glad I didn't like just randomly start walking around. And then closet got flooded because the stick came through there. The living room had a hole in it because of where the tree fell across. Oddly enough, the only room that was, like, you know, fine was our back room, which led right into the backyard where the tree fell. You have a tree drop on my house. Oh no, yeah, oh my god. I can't, like, if the wind picks up to a certain degree, I kind of get, like, super nervous and, like, really antsy. But, so, like, tomorrow if the winds are, like, super, super bad, I'll probably tell my boss, like, yo, I can't, this is too much, and, like, get out of my back office away, because there's a tree behind us. Now, I don't think anything's going to happen with the tree behind us that we have in our backyard, because it's a deep-rooted tree, and that thing survived Michael, which came through this area pretty closely. Don't be mad at my boss. It's just how the company is. It's based in Texas, and so they're aware that... Oh, what's going on? But yeah, I have the PTO. I'm just also don't want to use it. And yet they say you still gotta work. They say do what's best for myself and be safe. But I either have to make up time or I use my PTO. Yeah, that's the issue. Like, I have the PTO for it. I didn't want to use it. That's all. But we'll see what happens. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna go and be antsy for the rest of the night and try and get some sleep before the rest of it hits tomorrow. You too. We'll keep in touch with you and see how you're doing. And if you're still listening, have a great night. Hopefully I can catch y'all tomorrow night. I'll give y'all play-by-play tomorrow night and be like, so this is happening. Come hell or high water. Alright, but y'all lovely viewers, thanks for watching. Very short stream in my doodles. Y'all have a good one. Stay nerdy and stay safe, y'all.